Hi, and welcome to this week's Hobo Tutorials. Instead of doing a walkthrough or something like that, there's something that's new out here on the streets, and this has happened since the George Floyd stuff. It's something that necessarily does need to be talked about. It's getting to the point where it's even affecting me to a point where I was over this point in my life. But anyways, let me just kind of get into it. So there is, whether you want to admit it or not, there is a race war going on in this country. There is, there's no other way to put it. And here's the thing, and as I do my thoughts about this, and I really ponder this and go, is this because of BLM? Is this because of Antifa? Or is this something that is inherent? And one thing that I keep getting reminded of is that I've had many black people that tell me, oh yeah, black people are probably the most racist people you know. If they're not black, they don't like you. Which that's fine. That's their thing. If you're not black, they don't like you. I don't care. But it's here. The thing is you've got these people that are. It would be like as if the KKK all of a sudden made a rise, and then it made it okay for people to go out there and commit hate crimes against blacks. Okay, that's equivalently, it's the opposite of that. Instead of the KKK, it is their version of this. Now there are fanatics that are going to participate in this. It doesn't mean that everybody's participating in this. Don't look at every person as a possible foe. But there are people with that mentality, with that whole chip on their shoulder, whether they take a little bit, whether they believe a little bit of it just so that they can get what they want, because they know that they can hide behind their skin color and claim to be oppressed when they're the ones doing the dumb shit. Okay, so it's just, there are people out there and they want to do this, and you need to be prepared for this and understand that it's out there, and then you need to decide how are you going to handle this. Because in the last 2 days I've had 2 instances, and I'm literally I'm kind of having to walk this one off, because this one just it really gets to me. Okay, so first one is, I am walking down the street and this guy spits right, like he's trying to spit on me. He's hoping that it's like when you spit a loogie in the air and hope that the wind carries it over and it lands on a car. But essentially the guy was doing it to my feet. And from what I understand from a subscriber that I talk to on a regular basis, is that is it is something within their culture as a way to be able to instigate things. And it definitely was about to instigate. I saw it coming. I'm like, it was, something told me, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is I was so baffled by it that I didn't react. And what I really would have liked to have done, because it took me about 2 hours to calm down, I even went into a couple of panic attacks, because I wanted to pick a fight with him, but it wasn't worth the consequences. Okay, because the thing is because of the color of his skin, even though I'm defending myself, it would still be considered a hate crime on my part. And that's the level of barbarism that we have devolved into over the last couple of years. And I think that the George Floyd and Antifa and the summer protests, I think all that did was make it okay for these individuals who already had that hate in their heart to begin with, to be able to do it without consequence and to be cheered on as a hero within the community, because of the 5th generation warfare and the propaganda that's going on. And so now, based upon what your skin color is, and it doesn't matter what color you are, even if you're black, based upon your skin color, you have to really worry about where you are at and who you are interacting with and how it can be perceived, because the way that this world is going, it's getting out of control. I just watched another guy come up, and he He just walks up, gets into the cooler, just starts, takes like a 6-pack of soda, fills up his bag, goes over and just starts doing it. Nobody says anything. Nobody does anything. We're waiting for them to set up so that they can serve, so that we can eat. And you got this jackass who's coming in here, and it's like, and he's there, oh yes, Jesus, and God, and da 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 da. It led me here. Yes, something told me. Jesus told me to come here. Jesus, and Jesus. It's like, but then this motherfucker commits one of the 7 deadly sins, which is gluttony. And I even called him out on it. I says, you're committing gluttony, which is one of the 7 deadly sins. The only thing I didn't do was call him a fake-ass Christian, which is what I should have done, and that would have instigated it the way I wanted it to. But again, this guy is doing something that based upon the color of his skin, he is able to get away with things. He's going to do it. You would do it. Other people would do it. If you can get away with things and it becomes the normal, that you can just walk up, move to the front of the line, and nobody will say anything to you because, they're afraid of the social consequences. Okay? And, being out here, it's way more prevalent. Those type of people are way there's a lot more of them out here. And over the years I've seen it here and there, and it's usually the old ones that are still stuck on nostalgia and remember what the Jim Crow laws were. But most of these people, they're not even old enough to even remember what the Jim Crow laws were. They were 20 plus years past the expiration of those laws, and yet they want to walk around and act as if they were victimized by it because their parents passed it down and their parents passed it down. And you've got one side of the fence, or one side of the coin, that is sitting there teaching their children not to judge and to give everybody an equal shot, regardless of their state in life or whether their color of their skin or anything like that. And then you've got the other side sitting there teaching their children how to hate because the color of their skin, the whole world is going to be taken from them, even though they have way more opportunity now than they did 150 years ago. Okay, so the opportunities, the abilities, all it requires is that you apply. But to sit there and claim that you're being oppressed, it's just a way to be able to garner sympathy. It is, this whole woe is me, people like getting caught up in that drama. I notice it. People will come and they'll talk to homeless people, right? And then they'll start talking about their drama and how their life's upside down. And after a while, people will just stop coming around because they just get tired of listening to the whiny baby bullshit. And the same thing is that we've got to wait for society to get tired of it. But such a large part of society is benefiting from it. It may be a long time before this changes. But anyways, guys, this is my hobo tutorial for this week. This is my word of advice, is that there is, regardless of the color of your skin, there is a race war going on because there are white people that are fed up with it and that they are going to be lashing out in the same way of these black people who are being indoctrinated. And it's not safe for anyone. This is in no way condoning any racial hatred. It is to help you understand why certain things are happening to you when you're out here that just seem off, and the fact that they can get away with it and nobody says or does anything because they're too scared of the social consequences. You need to at least be aware of it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in next week's video.